Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask an artist, a band, singer, songwriter to come in and give us some original music. We sit, we talk about those songs and what's been going on and all those things. Tonight, we have a very, 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 very special returning guest, somebody who's been talked about on this podcast. I don't know, Spencer. I'd
Probably
say 50% of the episodes at this point still.
Yeah.
And we're over 250 in. Super, super excited to have Ellie back tonight. So tonight our guest, Ellie Ruth.
prodded of one. I ride around and flail about. I'm fragile and I am just as afraid as you. Don't know what I am supposed to do. place was made for 4 wheels and not 2 feet. Too many times I've been depleted. Too many times I've felt defeated. 2 words can't free me when I strap myself inside the metal cage. And I roll myself up onto the deadly expressway. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, I fold about the middle like a prodded earthworm. I ride around and I flail about at any mortifying recollection. I got time to keep my head up in the clouds. But only divine is waged in between the grooves of my tennis shoes. I fold, I fold about the middle.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome.
so happy, seriously, man. So happy to have you back. We kind of told you and filled you up with all the praises when you walked in because we were so happy and couldn't wait till we started talking. But we are big fans of you and your music, your original stuff, just everything that you do, that you bring to
Thank
the
you.
Louisville music community. And I mean, we're just big fans. So thanks for coming and playing some new unbelievable tunes by yourself. It was such a cool night.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm
So
so happy to be back.
I'm glad you're back. So what you been up to? I mean, all right, so let's kind of like caveat where we were at the end of the last podcast, okay?
been a lot.
Yeah. We realized it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, like right now.
Basically almost, exactly 3 years ago.
So you were just, I think you were just getting ready to play your first gig with Hot Brown or had played one or something.
Wow.
I know you were,
Yeah, that sounds right.
you were practicing with them. It was kind of one of those
just started
things
playing
that
with them. That's crazy. I didn't
nobody
even
really
think
knew
about that.
about yet. Yeah. So we were like, no way. This is going to be amazing to watch. But we were such fans of you and your original stuff and what you were doing. It was just how your brain works musically is so intriguing as a listener, as a fellow musician, as somebody that is a writer, just like Spencer and Earl. If he was here, he missed another killer episode tonight. But so just like hearing your melody lines and what you're doing on your instrument is just amazing to hear. So I don't even know how we go from that's where we were to here's where we are. But so you were starting with the Hot Brown Smackdown. For any listener who doesn't know, I don't know how you don't. We've talked about them plenty.
And they are so good.
They're about as good of a band as you can ever be.
Back.
Doesn't matter what stage you're playing on, how big, they're as good of a band as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, a big part of that is you adding your flavor into what they were already doing, kicked that up totally into a notch.
Yeah.
Because I totally think when you have other masters at the craft, and there's some, those guys in the band that we've talked about and had Patrick in and a few others, they're just so good at what they do.
Absolutely.
That I'm sure that adding you to the mix that's doing something and thinks in the way that your brain works just step the game up for everybody. But I don't know, man. Do you feel like, I don't know, last 3 years, where you at? Going out of that podcast. We'll just start from there. You're starting in, stepping in with.
When I came in, I was mentioning to you that after we filmed the podcast and did the songs, I had other people playing with me on it, some dear friends. And I just remember, like I said earlier, that I was leaving and we were standing by my car outside of the other place where y'all were recording at, different place, but standing outside of the car with them and being like, oh my God, that was so fucking good. Oh, sorry. That was so, okay,
totally,
thank you.
That was totally good. No worries.
Okay, cool. That was so fucking good. And we have to keep doing that. And I was just like, just so invigorated and so excited and like, was so pleased with how it turned out. It just sounded amazing thanks to y'all. And like just one mic around all of us, and it just really worked out in this really beautiful way. I was blown away with how it sounded and how it came out.
Was it just you, Chris, and Fiona on the first one?
We had also Isaac May playing, who played mandolin and guitar.
Okay.
And then Daniel Lobb, who played some clarinet and some like chimes and some extra stuff kind of here and there. Yeah, it was the whole crew at that point before I even really. Well, it's interesting because I feel like I'm very indecisive in so many ways, but when it comes to like those songs, I know what I wanted them to sound like. At least I knew that. But it was still a moment where I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this, who I want to be, what am I going to like really go for this or not? Just like kind of testing the waters, and like it was a good test because I was like, okay, that sounds amazing, and it made me feel so happy to do. I was like, well, that's what matters most, is that it like felt that good. So
yeah. If that was testing the waters, holy hell, you passed. That was amazing. It really was. And that was kind of, you brought the group in, and I just remember being so blown away by the melody lines and the songwriting. And then you add the other musicians who were absolute pros and sprinkling in their flavor to what you were doing. I'm glad looking at it now, I'm blown away that was the situation that you're walking out going, okay, yeah, this was awesome. Let's continue to go that route because it just sounded so professional. Your writing sounded so buttoned up. There's no fat in any of the songwriting. There's no fat in the melody lines. Everything keeps you so intrigued in what you were doing. So getting that out to listeners, I think is awesome. But to think that was the point where you're like, hey, let's give this a shot and see what happens. Holy hell, man. That's just crazy. It was just awesome.
It was. I mean, it was the timing of it all. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Everything that y'all have been able to do since then. And it's cool to come back together. So.
Yeah, it is awesome to have you back in. You know, like I told, we've been to many of the Hot Brown shows because let's go check it out and see Ellie and see these guys and see how it rolls. And it's just been so cool to watch that explode. Which as much as we are fans of that, Hot Brown is amazing. But I'm more of a fan of Ellie Ruth and your original stuff and what you do. On your, not even on your own, but with what you're doing songwriting wise and the flavor that you add to everything you touch. So,
and tonight you came in, we were expecting a whole, the whole crew again. And so we had everything set up, and for you to come in and to give us that experience of just your voice and your violin and just, it gave it a different flavor, I guess, and it was so interesting and cool to hear it so broke down. It was really cool.
Was it a violin, viola? What do you play?
It's a 5-string violin, so it's kind of like a viola and a violin in one.
How cool, man! It sounded awesome too. Yeah. It totally amazing. I'm stoked that you came in by yourself. because I think it highlights what you're doing on not only with the melody line but with your instrument as well. Because I think sometimes it can get lost. You have strings that accompany a lot of your stuff and build a lot of the song, and they do amazing things. But when you hear a song broken down to the root of what it is and what that creation came from, there's something special about that. And in this room, I think it totally you nailed it. I did a standing ovation on the last song.
and it was
real. That's
so
real.
It was so cool too, because whenever you listen to a full band, you have all these different parts and you hear all these different parts, but sometimes it can be really hard to isolate one of those parts, whenever you're listening to it. So for you to come in, to sit down, and for us to hear how you work your dynamics, both with your violin, but also with your voice and how you play with the two and balance. And because, as you guys will hear, there are several parts in songs where it's all intentional. It is very intentional what you are doing with your dynamics. And, you can hear that in the recorded tunes. But it's just so cool to really hear the difference there. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So Earl, when he's here, he loves to look at the sound waves when he was recording because he can almost tell looking at the sound waves what the song, if it's going to be, too much. He would have loved to seen how those waves, the dynamics in those sound waves that you created just by what, like you were talking about, there some of the melody lines where you're going up and then you're bringing down the violin at the same time as you're building that. And sometimes you build them both at the same time and you're creating this song that's bigger than just you and this room. And it's crazy to think that that's what you get out of that. Especially, you didn't pick up the bow, right? At all?
I didn't. No, not on those songs
so
at all.
on nothing that you played, you picked up a bow and played like traditional violin, and you still create that bigness in that tune. Bigness. Look it up. See if that's a word.
So the volume. Yeah.
Pull it up, Jamie.
How do you when you're creating these songs using a violin? Are you always thinking big picture? Are you thinking? Do you write plucking first? How's that come about for you?
Yeah. Well, I think probably for most people, it's not always the same, but I really just try to garner more and more little pieces and ideas. And a lot of the time that is melody and accompaniment first. I usually do lyrics later because I think I feel and hear things melodically first anyway, just as a instrumentalist. That's what I was used to. I don't know, but I also try to keep up a practice of trying to write more often, so I have more things to pull from. It really is just honestly, one of the things from the past 3 years for me has been not just allowing creativity and writing songs to just kind of be bursts of light when they do happen, which is such a rarity. It's amazing. But can I have discipline in writing? So I keep a journal. I try my best to make sure I'm meeting with it as much as possible. But I would say I most often start off with licks. I play on the viola a lot, the 5-string. I've started to move to other things because you kind of get used to one thing, and I'm okay, those are all ideas I've already done. So I pick up other instruments.
What are you picking up?
I've been playing a lot of octave mandolin.
Okay.
Isaac, it's dope. Isaac May, who played on the last podcast, he let me borrow this octave mandolin for a very long time. He's probably give that back to me. But I was even playing on it today, and it's just even though it's tuned similarly, if not the same, it's the same as the violin, really, right? Yeah, but an octave lower, and just the timbre of the instrument. I don't know, just picking up something else just gives me so many other ideas and so much inspiration. So I don't know, it's different all the time. I have hundreds of of recordings on my phone, and I don't name them either. It's like new recording number 500 and something. It's like, great, I have no organization with this. Like, there's probably like amazing things left in here that I don't know if I'm gonna have to scroll through all of that shit one day. But
I could only imagine what is in those recordings. Some gold.
Some gold and some weird stuff too. Like, so I'm like, oh, don't see the light of the day.
So I have to ask, because what I've noticed is, just in the luthier world, you don't see 5-string violins all that often.
Yeah.
There's only one other person that I know of, or two people that I know of, that play 5-string not mandolins, violins, 5-string violins, and that is Michael Cleveland, and Jason Carter. I've seen Jason Carter play a couple 5 strings, but how did you? Because I feel like that's such a niche thing, or maybe I just don't know about violins. But how did you get on to 5-string?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a violist first, so I grew up playing the viola classically. And then I started playing fiddle. So I was given a violin when I was like a teenager. And so yeah, I was like fiddling on the violin, playing classical on the viola. I mean, it was kind of like a no-brainer for me to kind of be like, okay, I've heard of this thing where I can have both in one instrument. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I mean, I don't think it's super common. There's something about the way that you're trying to have the C string and the lower sound on the instrument as well as the E string, where like across the board you're just kind of losing some of the low end, maybe some of the timbre, depending on how it's made. I know there's a lot of makers these days. It's such a new thing, but at the same time, it's becoming like more and more popular for people to play 5 strings. So I know there's a lot of different makers out there. The maker of this 5-string is Gary Bartig. I think in Minneapolis. I need to look that up. But he builds the pickup on the inside of the instrument. And he's got that.
The piezo.
Piezo pickup. Thank you. I was going to say the wrong word. Piezo pickup on the inside. Built into the instrument. So acoustically, it kind of loses a little bit of it. It's like quieter and it's just a little more dull acoustically. So it's not maybe my favorite instrument to play if I'm in an acoustic setting, but plugged in, it sounds really awesome. So we did that for the recordings here too. So I don't know. I think it's becoming more and more popular.
I'm starting to find that.
Yeah,
especially in the bluegrass crowd, because everybody is everyone wants a little extra something nowadays with Billy Strings on the scene and kind of getting out there and experimenting with his group. And you guys, Hot Brown, I mean, freaking killing it and doing so many cool things. They're starting to pop up a lot in jams.
All right, so question for the super layman, viola, violin, difference.
Yeah, so the viola is tuned slightly differently. It has a low C string.
Okay.
But not the high E. So it's tuned from low to high C, G, D, and A. And then the violin is tuned G, D, A, and E. So it has a high E string.
Good day. That's how you remember that if you ever need to know. Good day. G, D, A, E. That's how you remember it. Good day.
Oh my God. That's actually great.
How do you remember
that? Is
I'm going to have to use that on my students.
Good day.
That's actually so good.
And they're bigger in the body too.
Yes.
A lot of violas range anywhere from 14-inch to 16 and a half, I think. Yeah. Something like that.
There are 17 and 17 and a halfs that exist, but like, dear God, you're going to get carpal tunnel if you play those. Like
either that or it's like a monster who's playing it.
Yeah.
Like like a really, really crazy tall person.
Yeah. I play a 16 and I'm pretty sure I can't remember. Is it 16 or 16 and a half? Wait. Anyway, it's one of those two. It's big. And when I play it a lot and I don't have the chops anymore, I've really I don't play a whole lot of viola anymore. I was playing it all the time in school and stuff. And so when I play like gigs or sessions on it, I'm like, oh my God, It's a lot more work just physically to get around the thing. But it's also my favorite instrument that I own. It's the most expensive instrument I own, but it's and the nicest. And it just sounds amazing. And acoustically, I actually use it on sessions a lot. And it's to the engineer's surprise, because I think when people usually work with violists, it kind of just exists in this weird zone that kind of interferes with the voice or maybe something else. It doesn't have a pocket. And then also the viola is just physically kind of harder to play, not gonna lie, because it's bigger. And so it's, I think, a harder instrument to get in tune because of where it sits in between, and then also it's bigger, physically harder to play. So it's I don't think most engineers or producers want to fuck with violas.
Yeah, too much in that same register as singers, most singers.
Yeah, I've heard that it kind of exists kind of around there for singers, and that makes sense. I think cello definitely, people say people love the cello because it's so similar to the human voice, but I think the cello kind of has a timbre and a range that it'll sit on its own. And that violin also will sit on the top. Just that brightness will cut through. But I've actually played the viola so much on sessions because I think this viola sounds amazing. And it's just so rich and beautiful. And it's one of the instruments that I love. So I feel like I play really well on it. So I pick it up and it just kind of sings in a way that my other instruments, I just don't feel as inspired or I don't feel as connected to it, because that viola is just it's just my favorite thing that I have.
Yeah.
I wish I played it more, but yeah.
Love it. So, before we got rolling, we kind of talked about some of what you got going on. And you have mentioned that you do have a few, a 7-track record recorded and kind of ready, sitting and waiting, huh?
Yeah. Waiting to be mixed and to move on to the next stage of planning. So it's happening.
How exciting is that? I mean, your tunes are so good, and I know with just on Spotify, where a lot of people these days listen to music, you've got the cigarette song.
Yes.
And that is pretty much it, right?
That's it. Yeah, I only have the one single put out, and I was gonna put out an EP length record, if you call that a record, but last year, and I just I wanted more. I wanted time. So yeah, that single has kind of been out for a while. It is going to be on the record. But I'm kind of holding all of the cards, trying to feel like I have everything ready before it happens.
That's so exciting.
So we're still stewing the pot. And I was kind of frustrated with myself about that for a while. But the process is so long. And anybody you talk to will agree that I thought this would take less time, or it can take forever. And especially if you're like me, going into it kind of being okay, let's just start. I don't really have I know what I want my songs to sound like, which might be the most important thing, at least for me, but everything else I didn't really have figured out. So it was okay, I'm just gonna start and figure it out by doing it, which I learned a lot, but it's also made this process a lot longer than expected. But at this point I'm just that's how it was meant to be. And I'm just kind of going with the flow of what feels right. And that's the only thing that I care about. And it's cool because if you're doing a solo project, I get to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it because it feels good to me. So why wouldn't I just kind of go with my own flow of things? And it's nice to have that control. So, but yes, I do have a single out, Cigarette Song, which is one of the songs I did last time I was here.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, you did 4 tonight. You did 3 or 4 last time. So there's songs out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
But officially released. So it's so exciting to hear the new stuff and refreshing to get another take and solo. It's just such a cool vibe that you create when you bring in music to the group. So it's so cool to hear. But let's talk a little bit about, you got Worm Song, the one that you said you need a title on.
Yeah, I've been calling
Cigarette
it
Song, Worm Song.
I know,
What
it's kind of a thing. Well, Cigarette Song ended up just being called that But Worm Song in the same vein, I was just like to be able to communicate with my band members, like this is the song, the one that starts talking about a worm. So I was like Worm Song. But I think I am gonna change the title of that eventually. But maybe at this point, because
it's pretty Worm Song. It's pretty good.
It's pretty worldly, like Worm Song. Yeah. It might stick. I don't know. I would just. And you're right. Cigarette Song, Worm Song. There's kind of a theme going on.
That's okay, really. Really what I was wanting to talk about is the through line between all the stuff that you write. You kind of mentioned that lyrics are maybe sometimes the thing that you don't think about the most until you got everything figured out, even though you got melody and all that. But your lyrics are so good. They are so well thought out, and they fit so well. They're not, it's just bringing you in between the melody line and what you're saying, on top of the music being super intriguing as well. Like lyrically, that's the thing that you're saying these lines that catch my ear. And it's like, man, what a cool way to sing, bring that into the story that you're telling. So it is a little surprising to hear that lyrics to the last thing, but I think what you learn being in a room with you, if you don't mind me and Spencer talking about you real quick, is that everything is thought out. Everything is, you gave the time because you weren't going to rush something, because then you would, this is my way I'm thinking about it, because then it would be rushed. It wouldn't be as thought out and planned and finished as you wanted it to be, So bringing all those elements of a tune together it takes like the time that I think you allotted yourself to do that, and sometimes you need it, and sometimes that's the way it works. And to get the stuff that you create, I think that do what you need to do and take the time you need to take to create it for sure.
And not to mention that whenever, or at least for me, whenever I listen to your lyrics, the way that the way that everything is worded and pieced together leaves so much positive space, because there is a lot of your lyrics, they don't rhyme. They don't rhyme, and what they remind me a lot of is Chris Thiele's kind of songwriting, in the way that he pieces together songs. Yeah, because it's just so, and I feel like to do that, to be that creative with words, it is so hard just trying to write music, because I'm just now getting into writing music and trying to write lyrics. It's so hard not to try to force to rhyme something, because sometimes
everything.
Exactly. And to hear that there is very, very little that rhymes, but it all sound like none of it sounds out of place.
Yeah.
Is so cool.
It's better.
It is. and it's refreshing. And I think that is what is so nice about listening to anything that you're on, is that it's new and it's refreshing. And it's just so good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think not a lot out there like you, kid.
Yeah.
Well, that rhyming thing too is like, I think I write so much like from the perspective of someone who played in string quartets and orchestras, and then I kind of went into playing in bluegrass bands, and it ties into the dynamics too. Like, how you tell a story is so much about the dynamics in classical music, and it isn't every kind of music, but there are genres and I think styles where that like is played up and down a lot more. So, and I feel it a lot from my classical background, where I'm like just really turning that knob up and down so much to bring something out, but also just the way that I create and write accompaniment and melody. It's just not the way that a
Sorry, there's a dog barking in the podcast.
It's all good.
Come on, not.
No, baby. I don't know. It's just like I there's something about crafting a song where you're playing 1-4-5, and you're playing the chord progression that so many other singer-songwriters have done before. And there is something really impressive and amazing about that, because it's not about the chords they're playing.
Yep.
It's not about the dynamics. It's all about the words. That actually genuinely freaks me out. Like if I sit down and I'm like, I'm going to write a song that's like G, C, D, G, or whatever. I don't know. Just like something that sounds, even honestly, anytime I pick up a guitar, I'm like just overwhelmed with how I could make that into something that is my own and sound interesting. And so I just like huge props to anybody that writes songs like that, which is a lot of people and maybe even most people. But it gives me anxiety when I like I'm like in that box, and it's not even like I feel like it's a box. I'm not saying that it's a box that shouldn't be there. I think it's its own craft, an own kind of songwriting that I just don't feel comfortable in. I feel like I have to just like create this weird, intricate thing that suddenly I hear a story on top of. And that's really how, like, if you were to write in that more traditional sense, you probably should rhyme because it makes sense, you know? Like, I mean, you don't have to, well, obviously.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I like that explain. That's such a cool way of thinking about it. Even about songwriting, great question.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not a box that you can get. It's easier to be good at being in that box because there is a framework for that 1-4-5 songwriting. You know, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of people that can do it. There's a lot of people, I guess, that can do it. There's a few that can do it really, really well and tell the story and change the way they explain things in their melody lines. But to be able to match up a separate melody line and do those other things, I think that is way harder to do, you know. But it's interesting to hear how you come about doing that by saying, I'm not even gonna step my foot in this box, because really it's probably more if you write in that fashion, your songs are really naked. You know, your words are the thing. It's not about the 1-4-5, because that's every song, every country song with the G down to E minor, C, D walk down. There are a million of them, and they sound totally different and totally the same. But that is a box that is, you think of every crooner song and country tune that rips out your heart and all those things. Those are super intimate and super personal. So I think really like you've kind of stepped out of that and created a distraction with your melody lines. But when people go, okay, I'm going to listen to the words are just as solid, if not better, than somebody that would dip their foot into the here's all the stuff real naked, just like,
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's where I feel maybe kind of insecure is the lyrics. That's usually where I kind of come in last, because I do end up liking what I do. I would wouldn't perform it if I didn't, but that's where I feel uncomfortable. And that's what I mean, like that kind of craft where the people that can write a song that's new, that just touches people, that is the same chord progression of all these other tunes, that doesn't matter. They made something that is incredible and it touches people, and it still fits it within that box, so-called box that we're calling it. But yeah, it just blows my mind. I would like to be able to push myself to try to live in that a little more, because you're right. I do feel, and I don't think it's a negative thing, because I do, again, I love what I create. I think it's fun and interesting to me, and it's fun to play. But I think that might be a place I could try to maybe even push myself to get into. Like, how can I, because I feel like if you go too far in the direction that I'm going, you lose people. Like there has to be something that can tether somebody to like the content of the song, or something that's memorable, a melody that comes back, or something that just tethers you so you don't feel like you're just getting lost in the complexity. Yeah. And I think that's where I've maybe started in new stuff that I've been writing, maybe kind of just looking, how can I make this different? And that's like a focus of it, rather than, oh, actually, there's something that's really special and important about making it simple and making it like something that you can have in one bite and just, it makes sense to you. So I think that's where I'm kind of like trying to rear myself back from the edge of just complete chaos.
I totally understand that. But
I kind of feel like Tonight was that, like with it being by yourself and you playing your violin, like we could hear all the intricacies, but we were also able and allowed to listen to your lyrics too.
Yeah.
And it was really, it was just really cool to see that.
Yeah. And
broken down.
I can definitely, I can understand what you're saying. If the goal is, I think this is the sum in my head. If the goal is to get listeners, like popularity and as 100,000 monthly listeners, just the thing, you definitely not have to. There's a part of you that would go, well, I need to write in a particular way. I need to have a hook. I need to do things that draw back to, but there's a definite charm about what you do and how you write and your melody lines that I almost just go, don't worry about it. Don't even think. Let your songs be your songs, and let that fall where it is, because I think that you do things so differently and with so much intention, and I think you have one of those brains. You got to let it do its thing. Don't overthink it. Just do what it says. If it's play this thing and match that part up with this other part, and you've got to figure out how to get it there. You know what I'm saying?
It's for sure.
It would be, if you do, like, because you got a journal now, you're going to be writing a ton and doing those things. So if maybe you have a place for both. You write the things that get those out, that get those off your chest, but you still have the things that you write that are just super Ellie, which are special.
I kind of feel like it would be a good metaphor for what you were saying is, legitimately, whenever I listen to your music, I think of paintings. In particular,
cool.
like Van Gogh's and Picasso's. But it's kind of like I think that exactly to what Neil was saying, that what you are doing is so original and there's so much intent. I feel like if you tried to put yourself in that little box or to do something more simple, it would be like trying to tell Picasso to draw a stick figure or something,
you're gonna start smoking again, man. If you put yourself in that box.
But
leave me alone. Give me a cigarette.
Shit.
But I just feel like there's just so much color and you use it so well.
Thank you.
And I feel like you just paint the perfect picture with what you have, and it's awesome.
You got a cool brush,
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I was going to say, we're not even doing Weston's questions tonight, man. We've run you deep. We got to get you the heck out of here. It's late in the evening. Travis like, oh, crap.
Are we already done?
That's pretty good, right? Yeah. Oh, you got Weston's questions? We're going to do them?
But
all right, well, let's do them.
I mean, we don't have to.
Oh, you know what? It would be easier because it's one person tonight.
Exactly.
Too. Wow, that's
what I'm saying.
I'm down. I didn't realize we were already done.
We're like an hour in. We've been going.
Dang.
Yeah,
awesome.
We've been telling you how great you are for a long time.
All right.
Gassing me up.
Hell yeah. No breaks. Go for it.
So this is Weston's questions. Do.
Ooh, I like the new sound effect.
Thank you. Okay, I was getting ready to say, I'm like, I don't know if I like that. So, first question is, if you were to be a character in any famous movie, who would you be?
That's a pretty good one.
Thank you.
It's not you, it's Brad.
I know, but I still asked it. He wasn't here. If I wasn't here, he wasn't going to ask it.
That's a tough question.
I'm laughing because I know what I'm gonna say, and I just know that people who know me are gonna be like, "Dear God, Ellie." I'm just gonna say Shrek and Shrek.
Shrek.
Yeah.
That's a nice boulder.
He's got his swamp. He's got his house. nobody messes with him. I mean, the moral of the story is that he's like, oh, actually, I have to let people into my life. I don't know. I relate to that as like somebody who self-isolates at home. I love being at home by myself.
You like being solo.
understand that.
Also, Shrek might be my favorite movie of all time. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes those questions, like I immediately get anxious and I can only think of one thing and it's Shrek.
Shrek.
Everyone that knows me is going to be like, God, shut up about Shrek.
Hey, look, we love what we love. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you.
There's no Shrek shaming in this basement.
All right. The next one is
what was yours?
mine.
Yeah, who would you be?
I'd want to be I'd want to be Cameron Crowe from Almost Famous. I'd want to be the writer kid.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'd want to be the writer, and I'd want to go along and see Black Sabbath and do all the cool rock star shit without doing the cool rock star shit. You know,
it's still a movie.
It is. Yes.
It was a fake.
Not really.
Okay. I think I would be Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Just the same mother-fucker so many times.
That would be great.
Motherfucker.
Say what again? All right.
Jesus.
Number 2.
Number 2 is, if you had to survive on one food item while on tour, what would it be? And if you had to jazz it up, how would you make it fancy?
Whoa. One food item, like one entree or
Yes.
like
Let's break it down to entree.
We'll say if you go to like a fast food, you get the full fries.
Yeah,
you get
one
the full
meal.
meal.
Meal, like one meal over and over again.
Yes.
Or this could be like we'll even let you go to Texas Roadhouse-esque down. Can't be Ruth's Chris.
Well, I have to say when I am driving, when I am out on the road or I'm coming home late or anything, Taco Bell is the move, but I probably would keel over if I ate it every night. And I probably would hate it after a while. But that's usually the move. I'm like, oh, I'm coming home late. I'm getting Taco Bell. This is when Taco Bell happens. I would say pasta, but that one, I'm a little bit gluten intolerant, or at least I suspect that I am. That may not turn out well, but that's my favorite. That's my comfort food. Pasta. Is pasta.
Okay.
Neil?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Easy.
Pizza slaps every time.
Yeah.
Every time. You're right. Yeah.
And you can get different toppings.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely get old.
But would it
quick.
though?
I mean, one a day. You could do one a day and be fine, right? One pizza. Not one whole piece.
Pizza.
Yeah,
one whole pizza. If you eat a whole pizza in a day, you're groovy.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could do that every day. I could do
pizza
that.
every day.
I don't know. More
Where pizza from where though? What's your separate question. Where's your favorite pizza in Louisville?
Oh God.
Post.
The Post.
I love the Post.
I go to the Post, so that's probably my go-to place as
well.
And
they switch it up so often, and they always have new stuff.
Luna's.
Like it's a great spot.
Y'all had Luna's?
Luna's. Where's Luna's?
They've actually got a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza. My wife couldn't eat anything forever, and had one of those at Bourbon and Beyond that was gluten-free, dairy-free, or whatever, and had cheese on it too. It's like one of those, and it was amazing. She loved it.
Nice.
So we've been there a few times. It's really, really good. I mean, it's hard to beat a Derby City pizza these days, man. They're like the working man's bare nose, you know?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Quick pizza, Papa John's all day. Easy peasy.
Papa John's?
I'm telling
Domino's
you,
over Papa John's.
Same here. Domino's all
thin
day.
crust all day.
Domino's thin crust, veggie pizza.
Thin crust all day.
The best.
Yeah, but if you're going regular crust, give me a small from.
I like that garlic that they got going on the Domino's crust.
They got the knots, the garlic knots over there.
Mm.
They do.
I like their little oven baked Sammys too.
Yeah, those
Sammys. They do that oven ranch, bacon chicken ranch Sammy. Woo!
They need to sponsor y'all.
Hey, listen, Domino's.
Pizza sponsorship.
I tell you what,
Domino's.
It would take a pizza.
We're helping you out.
We need to do no more free advertising, y'all.
All right.
Cut it off.
All right. No more questions about food.
Well, perfect, because the next one is not about food.
What's it about?
So this next
Martin
question.
Guitars.
Shoot,
I thought they'd
wish.
sponsor if I said it out loud. All right, sorry.
So what is one pre-show ritual or superstition that might seem odd to others?
I don't have anything that I do every single time. You know, like I don't know. I mean, I just perform a lot in so many different contexts. But I will say it's different for my music because when I'm going up to perform my songs, there's a whole other level of like fear, anxiety, and excitement.
Way more personal.
It's way more personal. Like when I'm going up to play with anybody else, it's just like, here we go. But yeah, when I do my stuff, I don't have anything that I do specifically, but I do really, really need some like alone time.
Yes.
Because I can't do the social talking and the like catching up or meeting people. Like that just really drains me so fast. I have only so much in the tank and I have to like just like save it.
Real
lock myself in a
Shrek
room.
Vibes you got going on over there.
Yeah. I feel like Shrek would be the same way, right?
I can't do it anymore, donkey.
Just like, except Shrek would be like, I need to channel Shrek a little bit because I'm just like, I'm too nice or maybe just feeling too cordial to like ask for what I need, which is space. It's hard. Like I'm getting better at that, but you know, Shrek would just be like, shut up.
Get out of the
I'm leaving. Like I can't talk anymore. I need to do more of that. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I like having some alone time or at least time with the people that play with me too is fine because I know them and it doesn't feel like, you know, but just space away from people.
All right. I got to go. I think so how do you get to or do you ever? How do you or do you ever get to the point where you can take that nervousness of shows that are your original shows and just treat them like another thing? Not that it's not more important, just to where you don't have that weight following you on stage that you have to feel like this is a different because you're still doing you. Yeah. You're still doing the thing.
It's hard. I find it really hard. And I've figured out a way to kind of channel it, which is your question. Like, because, you know, it's the classic, like, are you anxious? Are you afraid? Or are you just excited? You know, like, those are different things, but like, you could kind of try to change your thinking around it and just think positively or just think like, have gratitude for what's about to happen. Like, I'm so grateful that I get to do this. I will say one of the things that grounds me is I love getting to play with my friends. And I'm so blessed that they play with me and that they are a part of this with me, at least as much as they can be. And so whenever I get to play with my friends, which is most of the time that I do shows, I don't do a whole lot of solo shows. I really just, it's almost like I mentally create this I know I'm on stage, I'm performing, but I'm just like, I look at that person and I'm like, I love you. I get to be on stage with you. And this is amazing. And like, everything else doesn't matter. I just did a show not that long ago that the room was just full of people just talking, you know, and there wasn't a lot of people paying attention. There were some really amazing people in the front that were really trying to give attention, but it was just really loud and just the nature of what was happening. And that's fine. You know, it happens to everybody at some point. But I'm just like, Chris, who plays cello with me a lot, Chris Cup, he's playing with me and I'm just like, okay, yeah, you know, this is hard playing to a bunch of people that are kind of drinking and being really loud, not paying attention. And my songs are kind of quiet and sad. It's not really necessarily the vibe of what they're maybe hoping to see, but I can just look over at Chris and I just like look at him like, I love you, man. He's like one of my best friends. I get to play with one of my best friends. That is just mind blowing. And I just look at him like, this is great. Everything's good.
What, buddy?
That's how I feel whenever I play with
There
Neil.
we go.
But-
I love you, buddy.
But
Seriously.
like that sense of like community, you can ground
Totally.
yourself in something. When
Yeah.
I play solo shows, honestly, it's hard because I don't have
Yep.
that anchor. I have to find it in myself, and it's
Yeah.
harder sometimes. It's
More
like
of a
so much harder.
grind just to do the thing.
Yeah, and I have to like, okay, if I don't have it in me, is there some switch I can turn on? Like, is there some version of me from the past or future that can handle this right now? I can somehow channel them because like this isn't happening.
That's
There's
a
been
song.
plenty of shows where I'm just like, I hate saying this because it's not necessarily true, but I just don't want to be there, and it's because I feel so exposed. I don't
Mhm.
feel like inviting people into how I'm feeling.
Well, and people
I don't-
probably aren't, invested in you either in those situations, to where
Yeah,
it's
maybe not.
those nights you have the people that aren't paying attention. And if you're on your own
Yeah,
and you don't have that person to bounce off of,
yeah.
It's hard.
to get some
It is
type of
really
support
hard.
and love back as you're playing. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're up there by yourself, totally
Yeah.
totally exposed.
It is so hard to be exposed, and I struggle with it so hard. And I just people that do that all the time, or people that's like their main kind of source of performance and playing, and become an entertainer when they step on stage, and they can like take that role up. I don't feel like I'm getting better at it, but I don't feel like I take that entertainer role up every time. I take that. Sometimes I'm feeling introspective. I can't hide that. Like I
Yeah.
have a hard time filtering it out. So people that do that by themselves all the time I just don't know how. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful I get to play with people that I feel supported. So yeah.
Well, they are very, very lucky to get to play with you and support you doing what you're doing for sure. So, you got these tunes. I know we're getting deep into it, but we at least got to I always like brainstorming and getting some type of input out of this. 7 tunes. All
Mhm.
you need is a little bit of mixing and finalizing. Like,
Mhm.
when you thinking you're going to start releasing some of these things?
This year. It's happening this year. It has to. It has to happen this year.
Awesome.
So that is all I can really say for sure.
Who cares?
you know?
2025. You said it.
Yeah. It's
said
got to
it.
happen.
It's done.
Yeah.
Done deal.
I know it will.
Mhm.
It's just a few things that have to be figured out, planned before it's like, okay, this is when this is happening. But yeah, I'm really stoked to get this out because I want people to hear it, and I'm also ready to be done with it.
Do
And
the
not in a
next
bad
thing.
way, but
Yeah.
just like, sometimes when you're working on a project for like a year and a half, it's like, woo, I need to write some new songs.
Well, and sometimes you feel like you can't move on until those things are solidified.
Exactly.
It's
That's really
done.
what it is.
Now I
Absolutely.
can move.
That's really what it is. Is like I'm feeling like, okay, this is my main focus right now. There's really nothing else that I feel like I can't give focus to anything else. It's
Mhm.
just like I gotta get this out. So
Totally get
Yeah.
it. Yep, button them up, get them ready. Then you'll
Mhm.
be done. Then you'll be ready to write some more.
yeah. Well, all the
Mhm.
songs that I did sing tonight are gonna be on the record. So.
Oh, yes.
Ooh,
Well,
sweet.
you've probably heard them all by now. If you haven't, go listen again because they are absolutely amazing. And
Mhm.
solo made it even cooler for us. So, for our listeners, watchers, all those people that want to follow you, check you out, find this record when it comes out, where can they find you?
Yeah, my socials are Ellie Ruth Music. Just Ellie Ruth on Facebook, I guess. And Ellie Ruth on all of the streaming platforms for Cigarette Song that's out right now. Yeah.
And go back 3 years from this release and check out
Yup.
the first release.
That's right.
From Ellie. 3 years, man.
And I just want to say, I know it says on there, but the people that played with me that need a shout out are Fiona Polensky played drums on that. She's
Killer.
incredible.
Amazing.
Obsessed. Love her so much.
Amazing.
She's so amazing. Also amazing. Chris Cupp, I already mentioned.
Beast.
Beast. Absolute beast.
Yes, he is.
I know. Yeah. Isaac May, who played guitar and mandolin, and he's one of my dear friends. He's also an absolute beast.
Yes, he is.
Daniel Lobb, who has his own project. So it was,
And he was, they were on, I do believe so it was, yeah.
yeah, amazing project. And I think he's going to have something out soon too.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
gotta shout out all the
Look it up. What's
homies
up?
because they're all incredible. So
Well, Spencer, what about you, buddy?
Well, you can find me at Spencer.Corbin on all the stuffs. On
All
Facebook,
stuffs.
on Instagram. I don't do Twitter. or whatever it's called now.
It's
X,
always Twitter, bro. It's always
the
Twitter.
Elon Media.
Twitter.
Yeah, but that's it.
All right.
Yeah, for any of your luthier needs, hit me up.
Well, seriously, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me back.
Absolute pleasure.
Really fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to have you on. It's been awesome. It's been our pleasure. Hopefully, have you back again soon.
Absolutely.
Less than 3 years. Okay.
Yes,
3
for
years
sure.
stuff for sure. If for our people, follow us on Top Hill Recording.
Mhm.
Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff.
It's real easy. One click,
Hey,
guys.
Even Spotify, video
Yeah.
on Spotify. Check it out. So
Yeah.
until next time,
Yeah.
later.
Deuces.